There is Never over here at the bottom right, and at the top left is going to be HiyA. During that countdown, we had a whole bunch of girls scrambling back in here in between our break to watch round 2, and they literally were running here so fast they just crashed into a bunch of chairs and fell over. It was seriously hilarious. I loved my job. All right, well, what is 4GG going to do differently here? He knows that last game was a total disaster, and HiyA knows that right now it seems as though he's figuring out exactly how 4GG plays. Now, keep in mind also, 4GG doesn't seem to be, he doesn't seem to be doing fantastic just lately. At BlizzCon, I believe, I might be wrong on this, but if I remember correctly, he was eliminated by Savior, which is kind of a shocker. I mean, you would expect somebody like Never to take out a player like Savior. Not that Savior's bad, but that Never's so good. And here we see a week later, Never now getting schooled by HiyA, who is just ninjaing dropships all over the place.
All right, well, according to our unit counter here, they're exactly the same, except for... Yeah, they're exactly the same right now.
Well, they're probably going to stay pretty much even until their build orders start to deviate, because pro gamers, even amateur StarCraft players tend to be so good at the first 3 to 4 minutes because they end up playing that so much. Oh, by the way, a little tidbit for you: if you look inside Never's base, you'll see that he actually has the depot right at the bottom of where his command center is, and there's actually a reason for that. The SCV spawns at the bottom left side of the command center. So by putting the depot there, it forces the SCV to spawn right, like a little bit closer to the mineral patches, farther to the right. So it's a pretty smart tactic here. Just something so we can get those workers to the mineral patches that much faster. Once again, HiyA scouting early here. It seems to be the way he plays. Evaluating what his opponent does early on and then attempting to counter from there. Meanwhile, it looks like Never really focusing on economy.
So being that we are on a different map now, what do you think is the best course of action for these guys to go?
I wish I knew the answer to that. Being a Protoss player and the fact that these maps are brand new, I don't know if I can adequately supply the answer for exactly why or why a Terran player should do something on a map like this. My honest guess is that I think you should just fast expand on this map. But you can see that neither player wanted to do that for fear that somebody might do a proxy. And, of course, due to the lack of predictability here, or actually, I should say that the fact that these players can predict each other so well, that players might do something completely unpredictable like proxy to throw off everything. So, I don't know. But we'll see. They're going to tell us what at least they think they should be doing on this map in a little bit here. Look, what, double starport? Oh, double starport. Now, this can be pretty risky. Some of the Terrans I talked to about Terran vs. Terran think that this build is washed up and bad. Other Terrans really find this build to be quite powerful. This is one of those element of surprise builds. And it looks as though, right now, you can see it looks like HiyA might be trying to make it look like he's going to expand by moving these units out here and chasing out the worker, when in fact he's going to do a surprise attack. HiyA's pretty damn smart. Meanwhile, you can see that Never going to go ahead and just get. Oh, he canceled something. I don't know what that was. But anyways, he's going to be focusing on the double factory. Now, if HiyA decides to get cloaked, this could be pretty dangerous, and forcing Never to not get that expansion up. However, It does not look like he's focusing on getting Cloak early on. Instead, he's going to go ahead and get the 2 Wraiths out. Sometimes we see players get Cloak first in this build. Now, if he sees that his opponent's going to go ahead and get the scanner early here instead of the engineering bay, getting Cloak could be quite powerful because once the scan goes down, you just got to run away. This is actually really smart to just deal a little bit of damage to those Marines with the Vulture because the Wraiths are going to be coming in there. You know, Wraiths take a lot of damage very quickly, but they also deal damage very quickly. So if you can just pick off any units that would normally damage it, it could be tremendously powerful. All right, well, here are some SCVs getting harassed here. Now, this is a mirror matchup, so every worker counts early on. More so, I think, even than in some of these other matchups.
What do you think's going through his mind now that he's seen the Wraiths?
He knows he's going to have to defend, that's for sure. And it looks, actually, you know what, he might just be going straight up here to attack. Now, keep in mind that Cloak isn't done yet. I'm pretty sure Terran will have 2 scans by the time Cloak finishes. HiyA might all of a sudden get run over. There's a Panda Bear guy. Sponsored by GOM TV. He gets a free Averatec-Intel laptop every game he appears in. This is going to be close here. I think this could be really coming down to the wire here. Terran, well, I should say Never is going to expand pretty quickly here. And it looks as though Never is just going to get contained. If he's not just literally run over here. And I think that may be what's going to happen. There's just not enough units, and I think HiyA's risky strategy could prove to be quite embarrassing here. Cloak, not done. Both Wraiths taken down. One more Wraith around here. Expect GG unless a miracle happens here. Cloak is just now finished. One Wraith is out, but look at how many SCVs. Oh my
but
God.
The scan and GG.
Wow. Whoa, am I casting a Terran versus Terran? Because that seemed like a short game to me. Wow.
That was pretty risky on his half, the points right in the beginning there.
I think he thought his opponent was going to do a fast expand or something of the sort, and Never is bouncing back in this. Can he pull through with another game? HiyA may have to play more standard here. We're at 1-1. The rubber match is coming up next.
Wow, you know, you really have to think. I'm wondering, you know, we can't see the screens anymore, but they're probably talking to each other going, you know, hey, you didn't practice that, or like, hey, you know.
You never do that.
Or like, didn't we do this like last week and you said you weren't going to use it? I don't know. Like, I could just imagine what kind of conversations they have between each other.
Well, I think we may or may not be going to a break here. I'm not sure. They just changed my monitor in front of me. So Never's already rejoined the game. He probably doesn't even need to watch that replay. He already knows exactly what happened. Yeah, I just don't agree with HiyA's build order there on that map. In that situation, I think he should have been way more prepared for something to be coming at him, especially when he didn't do any damage with the Wraiths at all. He should be getting Cloak earlier, I think.
Okay, I was going to ask you, so what could have made that that build be more successful?
I think it would have been
Cloak.
Getting Cloak. Getting Cloak definitely a little bit earlier. But, you know, I'm not a Terran versus Terran expert. And I'm certainly not an expert on these brand new maps. I mean, as this season unfolds, and I get to talk to more pro gamers and I get to practice on them myself, then I think I might have a better idea of you know, what's good and what's not good. Because right now, for me and for some of the pro gamers, this map is kind of a mystery.
He said, I knew. HiyA goes, he goes, I knew that there was going to be a double starport. He goes, I knew it, and that's why I prepared the scan early.
They're talking to each other in the game right now.
Yeah.
We have an in-game monitor here, and then we got a monitor over here, which is what you guys can see. But yeah, we're watching them talk to each other right now.
That's Korean. Funny.
And I think whenever our Korean commentators are ready, I think we're going to go ahead and start this game.
Okay, game 3 is going to be on Neo Requiem, which is a new map, which is an old map that hasn't been used, hence it's new again.
It's